If you can't solve your cross in 8 moves or less consistently, then this video is for you. Memorize center colors. Make sure you memorize the color scheme. So if you're facing red, you know that blue is on your left side and green is on your right side. And you also know that the orange is in the back. So this means that you don't have to align your cross while doing it. So you can just insert this orange piece in instead of having to realign your cross, take it out, and then insert your orange. In this case, if we know our color scheme, we know that the orange and the blue piece are already in the right slots, and we can align them using a D2 and now solve them to their center pieces. So knowing that, we can do a D, R, and we can insert the green because we know the green is going to be next to the orange. Do another D to align the whole thing, and then L2, and that solves our remaining cross piece. The 4-move insert. This is the 4-move insert. So you have your cross piece on top, and it's supposed to go down here, and it's flipped. So you can do, and it's really fast, so it doesn't even feel like 4 moves since you can execute it so fast. Knowing how to do it in multiple angles are going to help you during your solves. So if it's going to the back here, you can do solving multiple pieces at once. The next point is using multiple pieces to solve one piece. So we can do this by inserting the orange first before inserting the blue. So normally you just do R2 and that solves the blue, but then we have to do the orange. So before we can do a D, R prime to insert the orange, which also brings down the blue, a D prime to move the cross back to its place, and then R prime to finish off the blue. You can find similar patterns in lots of solves, such as in this case where instead of just doing R2 to insert the blue, you can do R prime, U prime, R prime, and that solves the blue and sets up the orange. Decreasing rotations. You can decrease the number of rotations that you use just by utilizing more D moves when solving your cross. So in this case, instead of rotating to solve one of these pieces, we can do a D, R2, and that sets up the red to be inserted. And then we can do D, U prime at the same time, and then do a 3-move insert to put in the orange. And then we can do a D prime to realign the cross. And that was a 0 rotation solution. In this case, most people would probably just rotate and then do F2 and then insert it. But there is a really efficient way to do it. So it's R prime, wide U, R prime, wide U prime. So it's rotationless, and it's pretty fast compared to doing F2 and then inserting. Solving on multiple cross colors. If you only do one cross color, sometimes you get really bad cases. So in this case, if you're only a white cross solver, you're not going to have a really good cross no matter what you do. I guess you can do something like that and then insert the blue, orange, the red, and the green with B2. But if you're also a yellow cross solver, which is dual neutrality, you can get a really easy cross on yellow, which is just 2 moves. So I would recommend you to either try to be dual color neutral. So if you're a white cross solver, learn yellow, vice versa. And if you're an orange cross solver, red, blue, then green. Or you could be completely color neutral and solve on every single color. This is the first scramble, and the first thing I noticed is that the green is already in, and the blue can be inserted in 1 move. So when I do an R, I'm going to have this red piece come over here, which is not ideal since red is supposed to be inserted over here. So I'm going to do something like R, D2 and U2, and then F. So I can insert the red and set up the orange. And then I can do a D to realign the cross, and R prime to finish off the last piece. This is the second scramble. So we have our cross pieces here, 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 and here. So I would probably just put in the orange since the green is already in the right slot, and if I put in the orange, that'll put it in the right place too. So I'll do a D prime, um, so then the blue can be placed into its slot using an L2. And normally if this was on the right side and I would do only one move and then a U2 to put in the cross piece before I insert the red. But in this case, since this is on the left side and I'm right-handed, I would probably just insert the blue and then insert the red using a 3-mover. Since that'd be faster for me to execute, and then D prime to finish off the cross. This is the third scramble. So the first thing I see is that the blue is already inside its right place, and then we can insert the red over here. So I'll start with doing a U2 to position it for a 3-move insert from the left side. And now we can do a D to position the orange and the green at the same time. R prime. You could probably like preserve this pair by solving it like this. But just for this case, we'll just do F2 and then D, and that solves our cross. This is the fourth scramble. The red is already in its right slot, and the cross is aligned. So then the orange and the green are also in its right slot and can be inserted in one move, and we just have this blue pair. So the way I would do this is actually starting with the orange, doing R2, and then F2. Since I won't have to do any regrips, I can use my fourth finger to push for the D, and then that's going to put the blue in its right slot, and then I can do an R, and then D to realign the cross. And that was a regripless cross solution. This is the fifth and final example. So we have the green already solved, and we have the red, blue, and orange. So this is not that good of a cross. So I probably start with red using an F, U2, so then when I insert the red, I can also position the blue. So R prime, F, and then insert both of these, and then do a D2 to place the orange in its slot, R prime, and then realign the cross.